Judge, are you there?
It all depends on your definition of being there.
We're on YouTube, Judge. We're on YouTube.
I stand by that statement.
Okay, good.
Okay, Judge, I apologize. I just walked out of federal court. I am sitting
No
in my
worries.
car.
As long
just
as you're safe
right
to
down
go
the road
ahead.
from you.
As long as you're safe to go ahead, your client, I believe, is there. Is that you, Ms. Guevara?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for May 31st, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube. I'll go ahead and calling cause number 2020-0D01784, State of Texas versus Demi Alexa Guevara. May I have announcement, please?
Roy King for the state of Texas.
And Bill Hicks for Ms. Guevara. We're both present and ready to proceed on the plea pursuant to the plea agreement.
And Ms. Guevara, can you hear everyone okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful. I can hear you just fine. We're scheduled for a plea today. I'm going to be asking you some questions, so I need to swear you in. If you would, please raise your right hand. Ma'am, do you swear or affirm that any testimony you provide will be the truth and the whole truth?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Great. You can put your hand down. Ma'am, would you state your name and date of birth for the record, please?
Demi Alexa, date of birth, March 18th.
So the audio is cutting out. I'm going to ask maybe if you stand a little closer to the microphone. Yeah, let's try that again so I can just test the audio. Name and date of birth.
Demi Alexa Guevara, March 18th, 2002.
Okay, that sounds good. Alrighty, as I mentioned, scheduled for a plea. I'm going to ask you questions about your plea and documents you may have reviewed with your attorney, the first of which is marked as State's Exhibit number 1. Those are the plea papers in this case. Within that document, you're guaranteed certain rights, including the right to remain silent, the right to trial by jury, the right to counsel, the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses, and the right to call witnesses on your behalf and in your defense. Ms. Guevara, do you recall reviewing State's Exhibit number 1, the plea papers with your attorney and signing that document?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the document? Was that a yes? I need a verbal answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And Judge Hicks, have you had more than 10 days to prepare a defense in this case?
We have had more than 10 days. We would waive any other applicable time periods, Judge.
And did you explain the plea papers to your client?
Yes, Judge. We went over that page by page, paragraph by paragraph.
Okay. Do you believe she has understood the admonishments, rights, and consequences of giving up these rights by entering her plea?
I do, Judge. I have full confidence in her competence.
Ms. Guevara, are you satisfied with your attorney's representation of you?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And Judge, no reason to believe your client is not competent to proceed with her plea?
No concerns at all.
Ms. Guevara, have you ever been found incompetent by any court?
No, ma'am.
Ever been examined by a doctor or psychiatrist who's found you mentally ill?
Yes? No? I don't know.
Do you have any diagnoses, mental health diagnoses that are preventing you from understanding what we're doing today?
Correct.
Any undiagnosed condition that's preventing you from understanding what we're doing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, have you been able to communicate effectively with your attorney throughout the course of your case to include in preparation for this plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so based on your testimony, your attorney's representations, and my observations of you, I'm going to find that you are competent. Ma'am, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Where were you born?
General Plaza, Texas.
Okay. The charge against you, I believe, was originally filed as an ag assault deadly weapon, but I understand through negotiations, you are pleading to the lesser included Class A misdemeanor offense of assault family violence. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
To that charge, ma'am, the misdemeanor charge, what is your plea? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, ma'am.
Are you making your plea freely and voluntarily?
Voluntary.
Okay, I'll find you're making your plea freely and voluntarily. Ms. King, would you summarize the evidence, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Were the state to proceed to trial on the indictment, the state would have proven each and every element and count the offense charge, count 1 of aggravated assault of family house with a deadly weapon, and count 2 of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Beyond a reasonable doubt, Judge, the defendant is pleading to a Class A misdemeanor of assault causes bodily injury family member for 21 days in the El Paso County Detention Center with family violence findings and any credit for any time served and other terms and conditions stated on the state's plea paperwork. And at this time, the state moves to admit Exhibit 1 as the state's plea paperwork, Exhibit 2, Article 3914 disclosure, and Exhibit 3 as the indictment.
Let me ask, and I'm trying to get to the plea papers that I saw this morning. Was there a dismissal of a count and then she's pleading to a particular count? Let me go back and look at this. I don't recall.
We didn't actually discuss that, Judge.
Your Honor, there wasn't going to be any dismissal of any count. I believe they were just reduced.
Okay, so reducing both counts to Class A misdemeanor AFVs, is that right?
Correct.
Judge, is that your understanding?
That's fine, Judge. It's the same victim, so it's a little repetitive, but that's fine, Judge. It doesn't matter.
And so then I need to go back, Ms. Guevara. Technically, you were charged with 2 felonies under the same cause number. Count 1 being the ag assault family with a deadly weapon, and then 1 just an ag assault deadly weapon. That doesn't look to me to be a family violence related offense. So I need to ask you with respect to count 2, also being reduced to the lesser included, that would be just be a straight assault. Is that right? No family violence? Correct? Okay. So as to the Class A misdemeanor assault, which is count 2 in this case, the lesser included to count 2 in this case, Ms. Guevara, what is your plea? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Madam.
Okay. Are you making that plea freely and voluntarily?
Voluntary.
Okay. And so, Judge, with that, that is in line with the agreement that you had with the state, your client had with the state?
Yes, Your Honor. 21 days concurrent on both cases. Time served. Yes, Your Honor.
Understood. And Ms. Guevara, is that your understanding of the plea agreement as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I didn't ask or see if it was offered states 1, 2, and 3. I don't remember. Were there any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
States 1, 2, and 3 are admitted. Ma'am, understand that the plea agreement is not binding on the court. However, if I were to reject it, I would allow you to withdraw your pleas. If I follow the plea agreement, you may not appeal this case except on matters raised by written motion and ruled on before trial or by permission of the court. The next document I'm going to ask you about is the trial court certification of your right to appeal. It is a 1-page document that explains your appeal rights. Because this is a plea bargained or negotiated case, you do not have an automatic right of appeal. Ms. Guevara, do you recall reviewing the trial court certification with your attorney and signing that document?
Yes, ma'am.
It was signed by your attorney and signed by the court as well. So on your pleas of guilty and the evidence introduced, I will accept your pleas and at this time find the evidence substantiates your guilt. In count 1, I will find you guilty of the lesser included offense of assault family violence. And in count 2, find you guilty of the misdemeanor offense of assault. I will sentence you according to the plea agreement at 21 days confinement in the El Paso County Detention Facility. Those sentences will run concurrent with one another and you will receive credit for any and all time that you have served. Is there anything further, Ms. King or Judge Hicks?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Judge, I would ask that you find I am appointed on the case. I would ask that you find that my client is indigent and that any additional time that she has left over to apply towards her court costs.
Absolutely, that will be granted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else? If there's nothing
further.
Thank you, Judge. You're
Nothing.
excused, Ms. Guevara. You may, they may have some paperwork for you, but other than that, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a